Back in the day, all men naturally had an artificial bump in status because women weren't working. And because women are hypergamous, women not working meant that any man that had a job, even if it was a dead job, looked better, and they aimed up to get that type of man. But now that women are working, the game has now changed because women can now compete with men on a socio-economical status. And because their standards have gone up, because they are making that exact same amount of money, that means they are now only looking for guys who make the same level of money as them or higher. Which means that all the guys that are underneath them now have no chance. Because these women are looking for something better, not the same really. Women don't really want the same. They'll settle for the same, okay? But really and truly, they want to go above where they are. No one wants to get into a relationship and think, wow, I'm going to get into the relationship and stay exactly where I am. Every woman's dream is to get into a relationship with the Prince Charming and then upgrade their status, upgrade their money, upgrade their lifestyle. Oh yeah, they'll tell you that they'll settle for the guy that's on the same level as them, and that's true, but the key word there is settle. They're going to settle for that man because the men that women really desire are the men that can upgrade the woman from where they already are. That's the kind of man that women are chasing. That's the kind of man that women have genuine burning desire for. That's the kind of man that women go all types of extremes just to get into a relationship with, okay? And as a man, you really want to be in the position where your woman sees you as that guy, okay? When a woman just sees you as her equal, I'm telling you from experience, the relationship isn't as great as it could be. But when a woman can really look up to you on a higher level, oh my God, it's so different. She's gonna respect you in a way that most men will never ever get. Because love for a woman is respect. A woman's gotta respect you first before she can love you and open up her heart to you in the biggest way that she can. And the only way for a woman to respect you is for you to be better than her in money, in status, in value to the world, and in society. If you have none of these things, it's going to be real hard for you. And it's so sad because I know most men will never ever get to experience what it is to be a high status man where a woman looks up to you like that. It's totally different. Just the way she looks at you, the way she kind of like glows into your eyes. If you're that guy, you're going to get that. If you're that guy, what I'm saying to you right now is just like every day to you. But you got to understand that most men will never get to experience what that feels like, where a woman just submits to the great man that you are and she fully trusts you and is confident of all the decisions you're going to make for her in the relationship. It's different. The way she looks at you, the way she talks to you, the way she shows you off to her friends, the way she raves about you when you're not in the same room as her. It's almost like a different world. That's why I tell all men to become the best version of themselves so you get to experience that. Because once you get to experience that, it's almost like life becomes on easy mode because everything gets catered for you. She'll go to the extremes to have you because she knows how rare you are. And it's hard to get there in the first place, but once you arrive, it's like nothing you've ever experienced before. But the problem is, there's a whole load of men that are now not meeting women's expectations for a relationship. And these men get ignored, they get dismissed. It's almost like these men are invisible to women. Men are just not meeting women's expectations anymore. And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to explain in this video why men aren't as great as they should be. I'm not here to explain in this video why they're not meeting up to the standards of women. I'm here to say in this video, this is what it is, okay? I'm not here to judge if women are right to do this or if men are right to do this. That's irrelevant. I'm a pragmatist. And in the real world right now, what's happening is many, many men are losing out. Many, many men have gone months or even years without having a relationship with a woman. without dating a woman, without having any intimacy with a woman, without getting any attention from a woman, without even talking to a woman on a friendly level. There's more men like that than most women could ever care to admit, because women only see the men they're interested in. It's almost like they filter out all the men that they don't care about or are not interested in for a relationship. So a lot of women would tell you that men have the upper hand, but when they say that, they're only talking about the men that they are primarily interested in. All the men who they are not interested in do not count. They don't see those men. They're invisible. And this is making a lot of men resentful, because for as much as a man wants to be alpha and powerful and I am this, I am that, I am the best man out there, I am the strongest, at the end of the day, a man can become a billionaire, the richest man in the world, but if he's not validated by a woman, it's meaningless. For a man to really feel powerful, yeah, he's got to have money, status, success, ambition, all of those things, yeah. But at the end of the day, if we were to be honest, men, all of those things need to be validated by a woman for them to be true. Even though in realism, it's still true regardless, a man needs to feel that he's made it through a woman for him to really appreciate everything he has. For without a woman, a man could have houses, plenty of houses, but he will never have a home. So these men who we now call incels may have decent jobs, but because they're not having women to validate those jobs, their status, their success, it all means nothing. So because of that, those men become resentful. And resentfulness in a man could sometimes equal disaster. Because when a man becomes resentful, when a man doesn't get validation from a woman, when a man doesn't feel loved and appreciated by a woman, I'm talking about a woman specifically, a man could have all validation in the world from all of his fans, from his mother and father, from his family, from his cousins, from his people at work, but if he does not get the validation to prove his success from a woman that he loves, it all means nothing. So that's why a lot of the times now, these men are just like bugging out, because their lives to them feel meaningless. That's why they're going out there and go pap, 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 school shootings, pap, pap, pap. They're doing grape to women. It's nasty. And again, I'm not trying to affirm what these men are doing. I'm just trying to explain to you why these men are doing this. A man's life, a straight man's life, is meaningless if it does not get validated by a woman. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that man has to be in a relationship with a woman. That doesn't have to mean that man has to get married to a woman, but he needs to feel that he's loved and appreciated. So women hitting on him, women talking to him on Instagram, going on dates with a woman, having intercourse with a woman, all of these things equal up to validation. And if a man doesn't get that, he feels that he's absolutely worthless. He feels that his life is now meaningless. And the problem is, there is more and more of these men going into the category of incel because women are getting more powerful in the workforce. Again, I'm not trying to tell people that women going to the workforce is a bad thing. No. Actually, to the contrary. I love that we now have an open playing field. Because before, the playing field was not open. It was not equal. We didn't give the women the chance to compete. Now, the women have the chance to compete. We've now seen the real results of male and female nature. And that is, when women have the opportunity to compete in the workforce, they only like the top 10 to 20% of men. And really and truly, they only love the top 5%, really. They're going to go for the top 20%, but even still, they really want the top 5%, high caliber, millionaires, successful, ambitious, got it going, no 9 to 5. That's the kind of guy that women dream about in their dreams. Again, they're going to tell you that, oh my God, it's okay to do this and that and that. But listen, if you're ever that guy who is tall, successful, handsome, got money, got success, got ambition, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The type of love that you get from a woman when you have all those things is completely different from the majority of men. And the majority of men will never agree to what I'm saying because they never will be able to experience it. You really have to be the prime cut of beef, because even if you are a man who is successful and ambitious, Well, the man who is successful, ambitious, plus good looks, plus tall, who has the abs, is still gonna beat you. And if he's charming and funny and a conversationalist on top of that, oh my God, no one is ever going to beat that man. So we're now growing plenty of resentful men, and this trajectory of women growing in the workplace and men leaving university is only going to become stronger and stronger over time. I've heard studies from certain psychologists who think that men are going to leave university altogether and men might just give up altogether. And it's sad. It is sad because those men aren't going to have a life that's meaningful. In my opinion, to have a life that's meaningful, you've got to have success, but you've also got to have a woman that you love and children. If you have all three of those things, I think you've made it, in my humble opinion. Okay? And a lot of men are going to go through life with just success, but no woman and no children. And that's sad. And it's also sad that because women are only reaching for those top quality men, that a lot of women will go to their deathbeds being single pretty much forever, because they're only interested in the top quality, the top caliber men, and they do not want to compromise on their values. They don't want to compromise on their standards, and that's going to leave them with nothing, because most men do not reach those standards. A top tier man is like being in the candy shop and being able to pick whatever sweets you want. Men that become top quality are also aware of the struggle because they had that same struggle when they were young, and now they've arrived. They've arrived in the candy shop and they can pick whatever sweets they want because they know and they take advantage of the fact that women only want the best. They know that because women only want the best, they can still treat them badly. They can not pay for their dates, not take them out properly, not have to offer marriage before they can get the box. They know they can get away with so much because they are that guy. And in a strange way, it is women's fault in a way because they have set the game. And the game is the majority of women want the best man. Men don't set that game. Women do. Again, I'm not here to judge that. I'm just telling you what it is. It's called Mother Nature for a reason. The game of life is set by women. If you're to be a truthful man, you will admit to this. You could be as successful as you want, but you know, at the end of the day, it means nothing if you don't have a woman there to validate it for you. That's why it's called Mother Nature. Women run the game of life. It is not called Father Nature. For as alpha as you think you are, for as macho as you think it are, this is a world won by women. I have run businesses my entire life. And let me tell you, the decisions to where the money goes in 99.99% of households are by the women. Okay, I run a production company where we do birthdays, where we do wedding photos and videos, all those types of things. And let me tell you, if women were not around, I would not be in business because it is women buying all of my services. If it was husbands alone, they'd be like, bun that, I could take videos and photos on my phone. When I was a piano teacher, it was the women hiring me. It was the mothers. The dads didn't even care. They saw no value in the piano lessons. But the women, they loved it. Hence why anytime I have a couple trying to buy services from me, I just aim my direction squarely at the women and then I go to the husband to collect the money. That's just how it goes. So because women run the game of life, they also set the standards for which men are going to survive it. And the standards for which men are going to survive it are now men that have top tier jobs, above average looks, and who have high status. You're going to have at least one of them, but really at least two. And if you really want to win, you're going to have all three of them. Charm, romance, it's all meaningless. You see how much women go into your DMs once you become an NBA player, and you would have not even met these women before, but they'll be DMing you through your inboxes. Women can sense a successful man from a mile off. The way you walk shows it. The way you talk shows it. So women have set the standards, and they have concluded that most men do not meet those standards. Therefore, most women are going to lose out because there is not enough high value men for women, by definition. Because high value assumes only a certain percentage of men. So the only winners really in this game are the high class men. The men of means, the alpha men, the high value men, whatever you want to call them. They are the only winners here. In fact, they're going to their beds laughing each night because they have all the picks they can choose from, and they don't even have to try to get those women because women know how rare and special that they are. Ironically, the truth is, because of feminism, because of allowing women to join the workforce, the only winners who have come out of it is still men. I would argue there was more female winners in this game back in those days than there are now, because women looked up to pretty much all of their men because they couldn't work. Again, I'm not saying that's the way it should be. I'm not telling you what I think it should be. I'm just trying to tell you the facts of how life was back then. Me personally, I do agree that women should be allowed to do whatever they want, and it's a free country, it's a free society. I'm a capitalist. I believe in all of that. I believe in a free world. But what I'm trying to do is let you know the results of our actions. All actions have consequences, and we're starting to learn the consequences of this male and female dynamic in the workplace. And this is a pretty new dynamic because it only happened in the 60s or 70s. So these things are still being studied, and we really still haven't seen the long-term results over generations. But all I'm seeing from my point of view, from my anecdotal point of view, is many women having galentines instead of valentines because they haven't got a man to share it with. And they haven't got a man to share it with it, not because there's no men out for them. It's purely because they don't want the men who are chasing them. Okay? Because the high value men don't have to chase. And that's the next thing. Women innately have this kind of thing where they're more powerful than most men, which is true until they meet the alpha man who they really desire. That man doesn't chase. He doesn't need to because he has more options than sense. So everything changes once you start to deal with that man. And I don't think many women know what it's like to deal with a high class, high value man. It's a different game. It's a different world completely. Dating a high value man compared to an average guy is the same thing as going from the PS1 to a PS5 Pro with an 8K TV. Oh, it's a different game, baby. And I don't think that most women are capable of handling that man. That man is highly disagreeable, low in compassion. He values his time above anything else, so you won't get much of that. He's always traveling, he's always moving, he's always on to the next idea. He's a very, very hard man to deal with. Are most women able to deal with a man in the lion's den? I do not think so. So most women have an idea, a picture of this man in their heads, but once they actually start dating this man, whoa, get ready, because dating that man is a job. You can't play the same sort of games and tactics that you play with all the average men, with a high class man. Because this man is going to expect things from you. This problem is going to become greater and greater over time. I don't see this problem diminishing anytime soon because women are going to make more money. Women are going to become more powerful. It's only going one way, and women are going up, 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 up. But the more they go up, the less they can date down. And that is the problem we have today. This is the Hezron Springer Show.